Before you judge Nicki Minaj, ask yourself one thing. What happens when you say no to the most powerful man in hip-hop? Because the moment Nicki rejected Jay-Z, her life didn't fall apart by accident. It was dismantled piece by piece. Lawsuits, swattings, disappearing accounts, and a $200 million mystery nobody wants to explain. This isn't drama. This is a pattern, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Guess who's back on X? Yep, Nicki Minaj. She's coming for Jay-Z. In a string of bold tweets, Nicki claims Jay-Z owes her somewhere between $100 and $200 million. But this isn't your usual celebrity drama. It all started with a revelation that shook the foundations of hip-hop power. Nicki hinted that years ago, Jay-Z tried to cross a line that blurred friendship into something more. When she refused, everything allegedly changed. According to her, what followed wasn't public but behind the scenes chaos, a quiet, calculated battle in boardrooms, contracts, and secret deals. Unlike typical hip-hop beefs fought on stage or in the media, this one hit at the heart of power and control in the industry. The numbers in Nicki Minaj's story are impossible to ignore. Back in 2015, she was promised a 3% equity stake in Jay-Z's Tidal Records, a small but significant piece of what was supposed to be real ownership in one of hip-hop's most influential companies. On paper, it wasn't just a token. It was a foothold in an empire that could grow alongside her career. She was told that this stake would give her not just recognition, but a tangible financial slice of the company's success. Fast forward to 2021, and Tidal Records sold for more than $300 million. The payout was massive, life-changing for anyone involved. Yet, according to Nicki, when the money landed, she didn't see a single cent. No check, no acknowledgement, no equity transfer, nothing. She has repeatedly claimed that she was one of the driving forces behind Tidal's growth, working harder than anyone else involved, including Beyoncé, who is often credited for her influence and business acumen. Nicki's insistence is backed by insiders who acknowledge her role in pushing Tidal forward, helping artists develop, and keeping projects on track. Despite all that effort, her name was reportedly absent from the final list of artists who walked away with millions from the sale. Those who had a stake received payouts that secured their financial futures, yet Nicki says she was left out entirely, effectively erased from the financial history of the company she helped build. For fans, this isn't just about money, it's about recognition, power, and respect in an industry that often sidelines the very people who fuel it. For Nicki, the missing millions represent more than lost income. They symbolize broken promises and the hidden mechanics of power in the music world. Whether this is a case of corporate oversight, negligence, or something far more intentional, it's a dispute that has rocked the industry and turned what should have been a career milestone into a long-standing battle for justice. Then things spiraled. By March 2024, Nicki and her husband Kenneth Petty faced a $500,000 default judgment after a German security guard accused Petty of assault. Soon after, the same lawyers went after Nicki's $20 million Hidden Hills mansion. And by September, the LA sheriff confirmed her home was under levy. This all happened right after she publicly called out Jay-Z over the Tidal deal, making the timing feel more than coincidental. Nicki didn't hold back. She demanded support from Republic Records, warned them, and spoke to the LAPD about issues no one else fully understood. Then, on October 15, 2025, she dropped a bombshell online. Her new album was cancelled, and she tagged Jay-Z with a single chilling line, "Hope you're happy now." Her post went viral. Her Instagram disappeared hours later, only to return days later with an AI-generated image of Jay-Z in a pink wig, captioned, "I am your karma." Fans were stunned. Some called it a meltdown. Others saw her breaking free from control. Nicki openly accused Jay-Z of being manipulative and spiteful. For those who followed her career, it didn't feel crazy, it felt like a warning. And the industry fired back. Charlamagne Tha God, a staunch Jay-Z ally, called Nicki Donkey of the Day on The Breakfast Club, dismissing her as a hurt ego throwing a fit. Yet, the timing was too perfect. Just 48 hours after Nicki accused Jay-Z's camp of blocking her radio interviews. And she kept going, tweeting relentlessly about Jay-Z and Roc Nation. Refusing to stay silent, Nicki Minaj wasn't holding back. She was calling people out left and right, and honestly, nobody had ever gone at Jay-Z the way she did. Then whispers started spreading. Industry insiders claimed that Charlamagne's Donkey of the Day segment had been approved by top iHeart executives, the same executives with deep ties to ROC Nation. That's when people realized this wasn't just shade, it felt coordinated. Every move after that seemed too perfectly timed. Then things got scary. Nicki was hit with 4 swatting attacks in a row. Armed officers stormed her home each time while her toddler was inside. LAPD confirmed the incidents but claimed they had no suspects. Nicki didn't believe that for a second. She went public, furious, calling it exactly what it felt like: intimidation. She tagged Republic Records. She tagged Jay-Z's team. She said she had proof these weren't random attacks, they were targeted hits meant to silence her. And then, just as suddenly as they started, the swatting stopped. No arrests, no answers, just quiet. But the message was clear. Somebody wanted her shaken. When you stack everything together, it stops looking like coincidence. You see a timeline. The title money she never got, the lawsuits, the debt piling up, the hit pieces from Charlemagne and Stephen A. Smith, and a long list of media outlets repeating the exact same story at the exact same time. Then came the psychological pressure. Her social media accounts kept disappearing. AI images mocking her spread everywhere. Police kept showing up at random hours. On their own, each incident could have been blamed on bad luck. But together, it looked like a playbook. Even a former label executive chimed in. When a woman in this business turns down the wrong man, they don't just cancel her, they erase her. That quote hit too close to home. And the industry's reaction only made it darker. Hours after Nicki's rant, Gucci Mane's wife, Keisha Kerr, randomly appeared on The Breakfast Club, talking about Gucci's mental health. It sounded harmless, but Nicki wasn't convinced. She accused Keisha of helping keep Gucci drugged and under control. At first, fans brushed it off. But then Nicki pointed at Charlemagne again, calling him Jay-Z's inside man, someone using iHeart Radio to push an agenda and attack families who had nothing to do with any of this. Suddenly, it didn't feel random at all. It looked like a network moving as one. Same hosts, same shows, same timing. Believe Nicki or not, the pattern was impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, Jay-Z said nothing. Not one public response. No ROC Nation statement. Nothing. Nicki was getting shredded. Online reporters calling her unstable. Pundits calling her self-destructive. On Jay was nowhere to be seen. Online, fans debated whether Nicki's husband Kenneth Petty should be defending her the same way she defended him. People were confused about why she even responded to Keisha. None of it seemed connected until the next bomb dropped. Nicki accused Jay-Z of blocking Lil Wayne from performing at the 2025 Super Bowl halftime show. She said Jay-Z's ego was holding back a legend. The internet clowned her for it, but to Nicki, it was personal. Lil Wayne discovered her. He believed in her before anyone else. Watching him get sidelined in his own hometown felt like another strategic hit. By late October, things reached a breaking point. Her mansion was still at risk of being seized. Lawsuits were stacked against her, and she was only weeks away from relaunching her billionaire Barbie brand. Then, almost on cue, major outlets started recycling old stories about Kenneth's past charges. No updates, no new facts, just old headlines resurfacing with fresh spin. Media analysts later said it was a refresh cycle, a trick used to bury real news under recycled controversy. And leading that cycle, the same outlets tied to ROC Nation's media partners. In the end, it all pointed back to one chilling question. Was this all coincidence, or was somebody cleaning up a mess Nicki wasn't supposed to expose? If Nicki's claims are true of turning Jay-Z down really sparked a personal vendetta, then what else is hiding under the surface of hip-hop's biggest empire? Nicki has been hinting that lawyers, media insiders, and even parts of law enforcement are connected to a system designed to protect one man's image. There's no solid proof yet, but the timing, the patterns, and the silence feel louder than any official denial. Because if Jay-Z really has the power to influence court decisions, control radio personalities, and even weaponize police pressure against someone who simply said no, then we have to ask, who else has been silenced and who might be next? But beneath that question lies something even darker. Nicki's next claims didn't sound like revenge. They sounded like a warning about a machine so large that even Beyoncé could be woven into it. That $500,000 judgment against Nicki didn't just feel like a courtroom loss, it felt like a financial blade dropping. Right as she was starting to build her brand back up, a man named Thomas Baden-Mueller suddenly resurfaced, demanding payment tied to that 2019 security guard incident overseas. What unsettled fans wasn't the case itself, it was how fast it all moved. The moment Nicki started naming Jay-Z publicly, everything in her life seemed to speed up. Within months, her $20 million. That seizure notice wasn't just paperwork, it was a message in bold print about who has power. Who stays protected? And what happens when someone challenges the wrong person? Follow that pattern further, and it circles straight back to Tidal, the company Jay-Z sold in 2021 for roughly $300 million. Nicki claims her promised share, worth between $100 and $200 million, simply vanished. Founding artists were supposed to receive equity, yet insiders say her name never appeared in the final payout list. So was it just business or payback for rejecting a man who isn't used to hearing the word no? ROC Nation and Block Inc. stayed silent for years, but when Nicki dragged the issue back into the spotlight this fall, her legal troubles suddenly skyrocketed again. From the outside, it didn't look random. It looked like a clean two-part hit. Financial pressure paired with public humiliation, a reminder that crossing the wrong power structure has consequences. And hovering behind those glass walls of ROC Nation is one name that keeps surfacing. Desiree Perez, ROC Nation's CEO, once pardoned by a president, is rumored to be the quiet strategist behind the scenes. People close to major label circles say she was the one whispering warnings to networks and streaming platforms. Nicki Minaj was a risk. Stay away. No big collaborations. No talk show invitations. No brand deals. Just silence. Even inside Republic Records, Nicki's own label, the room allegedly split in two. Some supported her, others folded under ROC Nation's pressure. Insiders say the moment Nicki spoke out about the Tidal money, audits started flying everywhere, and, almost at that same moment, those four terrifying swatting calls began. Armed police showing up at her home, again and again, while her toddler was inside. Maybe coincidence, but the pattern felt too sharp to ignore. Then things got dirtier. Private texts between Nicki's team and other industry names suddenly leaked to blogs known for their ROC Nation exclusives. Some messages made her seem unstable. Others hinted she owed money. Nothing verified, but messy enough to damage her reputation. A former road manager said it plainly. It's not about truth. It's about exhaustion. And that's exactly how it looked. Every headline, every rumor, every meltdown, each one draining her energy a little more. Through all of this, one name stayed untouched: Beyoncé. When Nicki dropped that cryptic line, the internet exploded. If Jay-Z really crossed a line with Nicki years ago, fans wanted to know, what did Beyoncé know? And her silence since: quiet, steady, unshaken. The picture of calm. But sometimes silence says more than words ever could. Insiders say Nicki's team has been working non-stop, calling radio stations, producers, and stylists, making sure nobody touches her story. One insider said it plainly: they can't let this look like betrayal inside music's royal family. If even a piece of Nicki's claims is true, then Beyoncé's silence isn't elegance, it's survival. The stakes go far beyond gossip. Jay-Z and Beyoncé have been hip-hop's ultimate power couple for years, building a billion-dollar empire. But if Nicki's story cracks even slightly, it threatens that carefully curated image. Studio whispers suggest NDAs have already gone out, warning ROC Nation insiders to stay quiet about any disputes involving female artists. Lawyers are combing contracts, tightening loyalty clauses, and reminding everyone, keep your mouth shut. What started as damage control is starting to feel like a full containment mission. For Nicki, social media has become her last line of defense. After posting that AI photo of Jay-Z in a pink wig with the chilling caption, "I am your karma," Nicki didn't back down. She doubled down, calling out music gatekeepers, daring her label to defend her, and hinting she has receipts ready for court. She even warned, the same business managers who stole from me are still working for them. No one knows if her claims will ever reach a courtroom. But one thing is clear: Nicki is no longer just an artist in a feud. She's a symbol of defiance, the insider refusing to play by the industry's quiet rules. Behind the scenes, fear is spreading fast. Smaller artists whisper about sudden cancellations, vanished deals, and podcasters losing advertisers. Everyone is being reminded which names to avoid and who's on that list. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's team reportedly keeps tabs on media outlets, tracking stories and trends. That level of coordination doesn't happen by accident. It happens when an empire feels the ground shaking. The more Nicki speaks, the louder the silence becomes around her. And that's what chills people the most. Every rant, deleted post, and cryptic image is brushed off as drama, but there's a pattern. Every eruption online is followed by a flood of headlines, lawsuits, cancellations, or public smears. It's almost like the system waits for her to break so they can point and say, "See, she's unstable." But maybe that's not a breakdown at all. Maybe it's the visible scar of years of control, manipulation, and isolation spilling into the public eye. Industry insiders are taking notes. Executives who once bragged about signing her now call her unpredictable. Insurance companies label her a liability. Publicists once loyal to her quietly step away. The narrative of madness becomes the perfect cover, twisting exhaustion into hysteria, erasing her voice, and dismissing her claims. But those paying attention can see the truth. This isn't chaos for clicks. It's a woman pushing back against a system terrified of what she might expose. The cruel part, the harder she fights, the easier it is for them to slap the unstable label on her. And if even half of what Nicki is saying is real, this story isn't just about one artist, it's about an industry built on fear, gossip, headlines, memes, soft censorship, punishing anyone brave enough to stand alone. And here's the terrifying thought. If Nicki Minaj with millions, fame, and global reach can be cornered like this, what happens to the artists without that power? Strip away the glam, the pink wigs, the celebrity drama, and what's left isn't a feud, it's a fight for survival. Nicki isn't just defending her money or her name, she's fighting for the right to exist outside a system built to control her. If her story is true, we could be witnessing one of the most calculated acts of retaliation in music history, a machine designed to crush defiance, bury evidence, and rewrite the story. And if it can happen to Nicki Minaj, who else is already trapped in silence? Every hit, every headline, every sudden cancellation might be part of a much bigger game. What do you think? Is Nicki exposing the truth or losing her grip?